I'm like, I can't drink any water. Can't drink any water without peeing it out 5 minutes later.
I remember when my mom was like that pregnant with my brother, and I would try to like sit on her lap, and I like could
like,
not
nope.
sit on her lap. Like I would, like she would let me, and then like every 2 minutes she'd get up to go pee, and I'd be like, this sucks.
Yeah, no, it's not fun. It feels like you have like a UTI actually, because like you're just going all the time, and you're like, is this the pregnancy, or do I actually have a problem?
Big yikes.
I probably don't have a problem, but anyways, welcome back.
Ooh, nice and sync.
Yeah, I was hoping that happened.
I'm your co-host Liv,
and I'm your co-host Rachel, and I think today is all about, I feel like we've brought up spring a few times, but the spring cleaning just keeps happening, and I don't know what planets are in retrograde or what the heck's going on right now, but like people, situations are coming out of the woodworks right now.
We're being hit like left and right. Like,
yeah,
it's coming at us.
It's a new chapter. It's a new season. Maybe this is 28 for you, like going into your 30s. I don't know, but things are purging out in our lives, and it's just I feel like we're just sitting back and things are just happening. I'm just like, what is going on?
I agree with that, and I think it's like, gosh, it's like you're trying to put effort in to your life, and like maybe it is like, 28 phase of life of like in your young 20s, and you have so much time to focus on friends and friendships, or like your single years, you have all of your time to put into friends. That's what I did. And when you have a partner, it's like obviously you calm down, you settle down, into your life with your partner. They get the majority of your time and your efforts and your focus.
Yeah.
And so it's not like you want any friendships to fall off, of course, but you have just less time to devote towards building and fostering those friendships.
Or your priorities just change. And if people aren't on the same page, then it's going to feel different to them too.
Yeah, like I'm in a place where like I'm not trying to act different or change, but I think maybe that's where it's coming from. Like I know one of my best friends who recently got married, she told me that in wedding planning she was having a hard time because she felt like she was being a bad friend because she felt like she was so consumed with her wedding that she didn't even know what was happening in people's lives anymore, like other than hers. And I was sitting there like, no, absolutely not, like you're being like, you're such a good friend, like always checking in with us, but you put these pressures on yourself at the same time, and you want to be a type of way for your loved ones, and not to be like, oh, you have to prioritize or be selective, but like you only have so much time in the day.
Yeah. And not to even like put energy into like what is just happening, but I think just to like discuss it too. I think, the past couple of weeks, we've both just had people close to us, or so we thought were close to us, come out with, I think, like accusations or just issues that they have with us that I know you feel the same way. We're just like so what? Out of left field in a way that's like
I thought everything was good.
Thought everything was good, but like how was there such a misunderstanding? And like,
because that's what it is.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's misunderstanding almost maybe to values of like, I'm not meaning to be a bad friend. I've just been, I don't know, living
I'm sure,
life.
Like, how do you put this? But sorry, I might take a little pause. I'm just like thinking of my words on like how to describe this. I think that some people are psycho. Not everyone, but in my situation, I know that there were some really strong accusations that I think were a very strong projection. In fact, it wasn't actually me. It was just like a projection. And again, you can like go into all the nitty gritties of like someone's family life and someone's traumas and what they go through in their life. But when people growing up were in a situation where a lot of chaos was happening or a lot of trauma was happening, sometimes in order to, what they feel is taking control in their life is creating a problem where there is not a problem, so that they can control the situation and like cut it off and like stop it, or like decide how something should go, so that they feel that sense of like control, when sometimes there's not a problem to begin with.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Well, it definitely helps like me understand. Like I have a friend who kind of just like called me out for what out of the blue, nothing. I'm so confused. And I know a lot of us have been there at times where, okay, a friend read a situation completely different than you intended it, where you didn't even realize that there were some feelings to be had. And it's like, maybe that does apply to this situation because, yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a problem being created out of nothing.
Nothing, yeah. And Mel Robbins always comes into my head where it's just like, it's not about you. Like, it really isn't about you.
Yeah, let them.
Yeah, let them be upset. Let them do this. And it's not to not take accountability if you actually did something wrong. That's not what we're saying either, because I feel like I'm pretty good at like taking accountability or like acknowledging if I know I messed up or like, if I made them feel something because there's a misunderstanding.
At the minimum, I feel like it's always easy, like when you care about somebody, to at least like apologize for making them feel a type of way, regardless of if the actions that they're saying you did or didn't do, whatever, are true or not. It's like you can always just say, wow, like let me take a step back, like I'm really sorry that whatever I did or didn't do made you feel a type of way. I did start my conversation with my friend in that way, but that wasn't good enough for them. And so that's why I think that maybe it's something more, because if somebody's not able to like just accept like, okay, like you're a friend who cares enough to say like, wow, like I hear you, I'm sorry that I made you feel a type of way, to actually have a productive conversation from there. I'm like, okay, then that's why I'm confused in my own like friendship right now of like, but then what are you trying? Like, what is it that you're looking for from me? If you didn't want me to acknowledge you and apologize, what are you looking for from me?
Yeah. Well, I think that's where it's really comes down to it. It really isn't about you, because you know to your core that this is not accurate. Like what's going on is not what they're accusing you of, is not at all what happened. And you can explain it and so, but like people that want to be angry about something or want to put the narrative that, you know, you did this, you did that, and that they're the victim, where it's clearly not that way, then it like hits really hard, because I think some like accusations can be really hurtful, especially if this is like, I was thinking about this, but like this is why I was telling myself, this is why it's so important to truly follow through with who you want to be as an individual in this world, and who you want to be towards other people, and you know, as a family member, as a partner, as a friend, because if something like that happens, there's peace of mind in knowing that, whoa, like I know who I am to a core. I know I can make friends. I know that I'm supportive as a friend, partner, family member, like, and through I'm shown that like people feel that.
And I think too, like with what you're saying, it's important, I think, you know, you have to build this narrative of yourself to yourself. You know how like they say humans are the most easily like manipulated in your minds and brainwashed, whatnot. And it's like you have to constantly do actions to prove it to yourself who you think you are.
Yeah.
And then it's like, but when you've seen all of these actions almost from yourself, and you can solidify, okay, I am a person with this kind of character and these kinds of values. Yes, you're right. In a situation like this, you can lean back on that and say like, no, I'm not who you're making me out to be. And that's what's making the whole thing just seem really blown up and misunderstood, because it's like, I am not, you know, manipulative or whatnot. Like I care to be honest and, you know, straightforward with people. And so it's nice, like you said, that you can fall back on knowing your own character, and that that's really what it's about.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, it just goes to show like truly not everyone wants to be friends with you, or not everyone's going to like you. End of story. And also,
but people aren't gonna, they're like, almost, it's like they're not gonna like you because they're misunderstanding you, not because they don't like who you're choosing to be. It's because they're not understanding who you're choosing to be. But also, like, it's not your job to work your ass off to show them. It's just not.
Yeah. It's not your job to try and convince people to like you, which can be difficult if you're a people pleaser. Because then when it doesn't work out, you're like, what did I do? And it's just like, well, it's not always about what you did, like truly in the kindest way possible. It's not, you can't control every situation. But you said something yesterday that I really, really liked. And it's that people who are doing better than you do not feel threatened by you.
Yeah. Yeah, I forget exactly how the quote goes that I had read, but it's true. It's like when you're trying to build yourself up, the people who've already, you know, kind of reached those peaks that you're aiming for, they're usually fucking cheering for you. They're like, wow, like, I respect the grind. Like, I remember when that's what I was working on. Like, oh, fuck yeah, like, you're doing this, you're gonna get there. Like, hell yeah, like, you like to see it. Like, even when it comes to people's, like, gym goals, you know? It's like, if people have put in the time and the work at the gym and then they see you, like, at the gym grinding every day, they don't go, like, oh, ho, ho, somebody's, like, trying to make themselves better. They go, hell yeah, like, way to stick with the consistency. But then it's, like, the people who haven't gotten to the point where, like, oh, they want to work on themselves yet, or they just have different goals and they don't maybe understand what those goals are, that they aren't maybe, you know, quote unquote doing as well as you in whatever area of life. They're the ones who are like, wow, like, I see you're doing a lot of this or that the other day, like, in a connotation that's like do I need to explain it?
No,
you
but
know?
like using it as an excuse as to why you're not a good friend, or like why you're not good because you're too busy doing this, or you're too busy doing that, and I don't feel support, and they don't feel supported, and they don't feel that like you care enough about them, you know, or like dragging your family down, or your whatever it may be. So feeling threatened and jealousy can come out in really weird ways too, and it's not like super uncomfortable. Not to be on our high horses here, but it's just something to notice. Like, sometimes when you're passionate about something, or you have a really clear image of what you want your future to look like, and believe it or not, when you have a clear image, like when you have that goal or you have that image and you're able to incorporate it in your life, other people who don't think that that can happen for them, like, they can get upset with seeing that. Like,
well, and that's where their self-doubt starts to become vocal and projected onto your life.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, you know, I went through a transition where I left my career job to go work at the business with my fiance that he owns and be like our own entrepreneurs. And that was something uncommon, where, like, in circles that I come from, and something just like, I don't know, against the grain, if you will. And I had to break away from this idea that people were necessarily going to understand me or my decisions or what I was doing, and to just not even want to, like, talk about some of those aspects about what I was working on, or to share it, just because simply people are going to ask questions that I don't believe they mean anything malicious by it, but that their questions come across in a way of like, are you sure you should be doing that?
Yeah.
And it putting me in a place where I felt the need to over-explain, to almost like defend my choices and my decisions regarding it, which isn't necessary. And so I just simply like opt out of talking about it sometimes, because I have had to come to peace with, I'm simply just not going to be understood by a lot of people that I love. I'm just not, like, it's just not something, it's something for me, it's not something for them.
Yeah. No, that's
it's hard.
It's so hard.
It adds like a little, divide, maybe.
Well, I think too, when you're not following like the grain, or like you're going against the grain, it's so easy to start to feel like you have to defend yourself, because it's like, because of how intense sometimes people's doubt in you can be. And then eventually you get through it, and it's just good to know it's just like, not everyone's gonna understand, because if they did, then you'd probably be asking them for tips and tricks, because they're living the lifestyle that you want. But if they're not, then it's like, well, it might not quite go hand in hand.
Some people aren't ready to hear it, to be honest. Like, if you feel like you've made a big change or like big development in your life, like I'll even use, you know, the gym again as an example. You know, if you've gone from a place where you were always working out this one type of way, and now you've learned, oh, if I just switch these few things, now I can make a huge change. And you want to like preach it from the heavens of like, you guys have got it figured out. And people are like literally just like, okay, that's great for you, leave me be. I'm gonna sit here and eat my bag of chips and don't bother me. Like, people don't want to hear it all the time. Like, when you feel like you've learned something new. And so I don't know, I feel like that when it comes to that whole switcheroo I did, career, job, financially wise, whatever, I feel like it takes a lot of explanation sometimes. And so I just don't feel the need to like get into it, because it's like, and let me go back to everything I've learned or unlearned or relearned about my truth about the way that the world works.
Well, the point about you want people in your circle that cheer you on and are there for you like during the high points has never felt more real than I think like now, where it's just like,
well, I'm just going to pause you right there and say, well, fucking good for us that we feel like we're at a high point. let's just cheers
really,
that one for
not
a minute.
really, but you can't. I was just recently
as much as it
like
can be low, it's also high too, because that's what life is.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, thank God. I'm feeling so shit and angry and like upset and misunderstood and like so low today, because I know there's a high that's coming and I can't wait for it.
Rachel's recently screamed into some pillows, and I'm gonna follow suit pretty soon here.
Yeah.
So pillow screaming is gonna be our new therapy.
My husband absolutely forced me to scream into a pillow, and my ego was like, no way in hell would I look so silly doing something like that. But
I feel
at the end of the
from a
day,
movie. Isn't that from like Couples Vacation or something?
probably. I mean,
love
it's
it.
therapy. It really is. And so I guess how it's handled. So like, if you are feeling angry, for instance, something happened, you're feeling really angry or you're feeling really sad, you have to identify where in your body you're feeling that. Like, is it your chest? Is it your head? Is it your throat? And you're supposed to just like sit with it for like 90 seconds and just like feel it. Not give it like a narrative, not try and explain to yourself what this is, but like you're just supposed to sit and feel it for like 90 seconds and just acknowledge it so that it can like be acknowledged and kind of pass through. And I think like the screaming too, like the exertion of like, I'm so angry, like I need it. It like cleared my head where I was just like, that was like a cold plunge. Like I need to do it again. Like it was just such like an adrenaline rush of like,
just like the shock to your system of like a reset.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that.
I think I have to do it again, but there's some stuff you can do, and I'm not like the best at this, but I will try it. I will definitely try it, because when you're feeling like crap and it's just like it's something that happened to you, you're just like, okay, I want this feeling out. I don't like this feeling.
Yeah.
But like I don't want to ignore it because it's happening. So like we need to acknowledge it so we can get actually past it and through it.
Okay. Also though, like as a woman, you know, there's sometimes a certain time of the month where like you
Things
can
are
get feeling
heightened.
a type of
Things
way,
are very heightened.
a type of way, and I'm like, I can logic myself through it and be like, okay, I literally have no reason to be so upset right now. Like, actually, I'm good.
Yeah.
But I really gotta fucking cry.
Yeah.
Like, I'll tell you. It's like, and I don't know, like, I feel like as a woman, we get that of like, no, sometimes you feel some feels and it's like, no, I actually don't know what to do right now.
Yeah.
I've gotta get it out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try pillow screaming.
Yeah.
Not right now, so that you guys don't all have to hear it on the mic right now in your car or your headphones or wherever you're listening, but you can just know.
Do it. I'll be doing it with you when the moon is up in the sky. We'll be pillow screaming.
There you go.
But
listen to the wolves.
No, it's intense, and sometimes it's like you almost like knew, like it's. I don't necessarily feel a loss. I feel hurt. I can acknowledge I feel hurt, but like with recently what happened, there was so much where like I was like, something's not right. Something's not right. Let me see what's going on. Didn't get a response. And then suddenly I'm just like, eventually you're just like, you're not filling my cup up anymore. So like, although this whole like friend breakup happened, I'm relieved to know that like, okay, I don't have to worry about this anymore. I'm relieved to know that like, actually I was putting so much energy into something that wasn't like giving me a full return. But like, do you know what I'm saying? It's just like ripping the Band-Aid off of something that you know is
not
no longer good for you and serving you.
That like if you have anxiety around it, like anxiety around like, is she gonna text me? I haven't seen her in so long. Is she gonna think I'm mad at her? Like, yeah, it's
Or it's
That's
just
not
like, why aren't my
not
texts
giving
being
you peace.
responded? Why isn't my child's birthday being like acknowledged when I send an invite? You know, like things like that. And then that was kind of like a tangent, I feel like. But what I was saying, like what I mean is like sometimes there's like that little like thorn in your side that you don't totally realize is uncomfortable until suddenly like is taken out and you're like, holy shit, like now I'm feeling all this stuff. Then it's like, you know what, actually things were not okay.
Like,
It's
actually,
like,
that
thank you for
was
doing me the
bothering me.
favor. Thank you for doing me the favor.
Oh,
You
that's
cut it
kind of
off.
sad.
It's kind of sad, but and obviously it's circumstantial too. But
Well, it's interesting too because like I don't know. I've watched my fiance even recently just have to like fade out from some people where it's like you can acknowledge like, all right, like I see how we used to click past in life, but like maybe we're not going to be each other's futures. And it's like a sad realization of friends, but it's not the need of like, oh, I'm going to call him up and tell him like, hey, we don't need to hang out anymore. It's just like I mean, if I see you, I'll be happy to see you.
Yeah.
But like, I'm just going to know that out of, you know, the efforts of how you're going to spend your time, it's probably not a going out of my way to hang out with a certain individual then, you know, at
things
that point.
fizzle out. There's like something you can do as well. It's whether you're religious or not even religious, whether you believe in God, whether you don't believe in God, you can ask like the universe, you can ask God, where it's just like, show me like what's good for me, or like show me the right path, even if it's extremely painful right now. And it's kind of like that purge of just like, okay, like here, I'm going to give you some things so you know that like, hey, like the ball's moving forward. But in order to move forward, you're going to have to go through this like...
What are you saying about like, show me the path? Like, ask it to the universe, like meditate on it? Like what do you mean, I guess?
I think you're right. I didn't really explain that well. I think sometimes if you're going through like a little rut in life where you're just kind of, you're feeling a little stagnant, you can kind of ask to be shown the right path, or like show what's good for you or show what's not good for you, even if it's like painful. And it's, you know, kind of if you're just feeling maybe like stuck or stagnant again. So it's just like, you can do that. And then it's like maybe you're worried about making a business decision.
Yeah.
And somehow something crashes somewhere because you asked, like, show me like what's going on. And maybe like what had to happen was like this thing had to crash and something had to be painful in order for you guys to then get to the next move, or like see like, oh, that had to happen so that we can go to
You
this.
believe things happen for a reason?
Yeah, I do. Absolutely.
Because I know
I don't
like,
believe, I think I truly don't believe that it's like good or bad. I just think it's like, the way I kind of rationalize it in my head is like, if this is a stimulation, imagine that I'm real, and imagine all these other things are just like players in this game that are going to help me get to wherever the heck I want to go and become the best version of myself. And I can't get through it without having to go through the difficult parts. So in some sense, it's like, if I'm continuing to better myself, then naturally not everything's going to work for me anymore.
Oh my gosh, yeah. What is that phrasing? I don't remember where it comes from, but where like you need to rephrase things in your life of things aren't happening to you, they're happening for you.
Yes,
like
exactly.
Everything is happening for you in this life, in this world. You stubbed your toe, it's happened for you.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it's happening for you. But it's like at the same time as, you know, okay, things happen for a reason. I've also heard that things happen and we use them for a reason, or like we give them a reason, we give them meaning. So it's like, because it's hard to say sometimes, like, you know, oh, this horrible tragic event happened for a reason. Or like, oh, this needed to happen because of that. No, you know, maybe it didn't need to happen, you know, losing a loved one in some like horrific way didn't need to happen, but it did. So let's use it for a reason.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. It's hard to
like just
it's hard to rationalize everything in that kind of way, because it's like, there's going to be tragedies, and you're just like, I don't know why. I don't know why. Yeah.
Well, it's really hard to apply the whole, like, it's happening for you then too to that one. I don't think that one's going to be well
I don't have an answer to that question.
But for the most part, yeah, trying to reframe the mind of like, okay, things are happening for you to serve you in this world of whatever the next steps that are coming and whatever, you know, you need to build up to grow, to be ready for it. It's all happening for you, even when it's hard and sucks. And not everything's all rainbows and butterflies all the time.
No, it's not, but they can come later after the rain.
Just a silly, goofy chat.
Yeah. We just needed to kind of like have a little session of getting stuff out without being too specific or giving accusations. Just talk about energy, because apparently y'all like energy stuff. So
Yeah, I love that.
yeah, let the energy flow through us. Good vibes. All right. Well, I think that's that.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening.